So anyway, on to Yellowstone. Here we go. Boom. Oh boy. Hey, David G. Hey, David, are you the one that was going to broadcast us on 1600? Because I'm still trying to get in touch with that fella. I want to know what his call signs were so we can go ahead and give a shout out to him. Let's see here. Well, Mayhem RV saying, well, I'm one of the few that doesn't use Skype. Mayhem, I never used Skype before I started this show. It was just...
I downloaded it the day of the first broadcast.
Yeah. So it was just something we had to do in order to make this work. I tried using Google Hangouts. I'm not that smart. So this worked, and I can't believe it, but it actually does seem to be working fairly well. So that's why we ended up with it. David G, welcome to the show. Air Code 503 is asking, I'm confused about the Mandela effect. What is it exactly? We will get into it in just about 10 minutes, but it's pretty cool, man. I think you're gonna dig this, man. So anyway, Yellowstone. The picture I have up here, Jason. I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but the picture we have up here is actually how much lava is sitting under the west coast. Look at that, man.
That's a ton.
I mean, that's just insane. So, you see where Yellowstone is, where the dot is. That's where, if it's going to blow, that's the segment that will blow. I don't know why that plane's there. I guess it's just a NASA plane. This is a picture pulled off the web. But anyway, that is where the explosion is. But you're looking at enough lava or magma or whatever you want. It's sitting underneath about every state out there. You got Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada. I mean, it just keeps going. Colorado, New Mexico. I mean, even parts of Texas.
Half our country.
Yeah. So that's a whole lot of lava, man. If that decides to go, that's deciding to go. I'm kind of curious, and again, I'm not a scientist, but I do wonder if that thing pops, how much land mass is it going to take with it? Like, is it just going to go straight up and rip half of those states apart, or is it just going to be a small hole?
Just what I was thinking, because I mean, it could be just as devastating if it opened several cracks and slowly oozed versus one big explosion.
Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, I guess. But apparently Yellowstone is where the pressure is building. But you look at that area, you could end up with a rather large or multiple volcanoes just about anywhere on that whole side of the country. It's pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
David G's asking if anyone is chiming in from New Hampshire. I don't know that I've gotten any calls from New Hampshire tonight or anybody stopping in, but I guarantee you on the replay it will. We've had about 1,000 views on those, so... Go ahead and pull this one up. This is kind of a view of what part of the country would be, if not the people being dead, but plant life being dead after a massive eruption. So, again, the breadbasket is pretty much done for. Look at that. That's all. All plant matter gone. The ash would kill all of that. So. The reason I talked about it last week, and the reason I'm bringing it up again, is another indication. So let's say the supervolcano is not planning on popping off for another billion years or whatever, 600,000 years. And what would happen if a meteorite hit that? Might set that off.
They would be both. I mean,
yeah.
So they say the perfect storm. That would be the perfect collision, I guess.
Well, you think about it, and this is something that my wife and I have talked about this, but. I'm going to totally switch subjects here just for a second. Fukushima, right? You know about that, the radioactive meltdown that's going on over there, those poor people in Japan. So the people that designed Fukushima, massive undertaking to make a nuclear power plant, these people spent a lot of time and effort thinking about every contingency that they could think of. And they thought to themselves, well, I know we're on the ring of fire, but there's no way that there'll ever be an earthquake that big. And they were wrong.
Remember what I was saying earlier about we're not in control?
Yeah. Well, they were wrong about that. So they built it to, I think, withstand an 8, and it took about an 8.5, and it actually held up well. I think if that had been the only problem, they probably would have been able to salvage some of it. But can you imagine the dude in the boardroom that said, yeah, what if we have one of these like 8.5 or massive earthquakes over here, and then we have this giant tsunami that floods out all our emergency backup equipment? I mean, who thinks of that? No one's thinking of that. So, like the worst case scenario, right? So what's to say? Let's talk about another hypothetical worst case scenario. What about a meteor hitting in Yellowstone and causing that sucker to go? Like, what would be worse, man? Like, you might as well just kiss yourself.
If it was going to happen, I think I'd rather have it happen that way because it would just be quick at that point.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the old double whammy. Just one bright flash and one big old cloud, and you're just done for, man. So 741's chiming in. David G. He's not in New Hampshire, but Connecticut. What part of Connecticut are you from, 741? I was up there, man. A lot of desert and high desert. Yeah, true. Like, I mean, the Rockies and stuff. But the breadbasket, if you look up high, I mean, there's still a lot of growing area there. Mile High Scribs, I'm up at Yellowstone taking vids and pics. Mile High, awesome, dude. I would appreciate it if you sent us some of that stuff, or even called in and gave us give us a live talk, man. Tell us what you see on the ground there, man. I love having man on the scene type video there. You know what I mean? David G says there goes the marijuana.
He's worried about.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. About most of those states, it's legal over there, I guess, huh? Right near the Massachusetts border. Man, I used to eat hot dogs in New Britain. I don't think that was up near the border. That's probably mid-state, but man. Capital Lunch hot dogs. Best hot dogs I ever had. So, anyway, I'll go ahead and close that picture out. We'll go on to another fallout photo there. There's the geysers there. So, these are what have even scientists concerned. You know, they're saying these things take forever, but a couple of these geysers, not Old Faithful, but, you know, some of these geysers that usually only go off once every 20 years or once every year, they're going off like 6 or 7 times a month now. And that's a bad sign. It may not be a terrible sign, but it's certainly something that raising some eyebrows. And there's a lot of YouTubers that are covering this stuff for good reason, I think, you know. So anyway, that wraps up Yellowstone. Let's go ahead and let's see here. Hard-hitting New Britain.
Comments coming over here.
Wow, yeah, okay, let's see what we got here. Wouldn't it be a good idea to harvest as much geothermal in that part of the country? Yes, I agree with that, Stephen K. Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. I'm not sure why they don't have it. I guess because Yellowstone's a fairly remote location. It's not exactly near a major metropolitan area, that it makes it more difficult if you were to build huge power plants there and ship that power off to other places, that it becomes expensive, even though the power is free, you know, so to speak. 741 saying hard-hitting New Britain, about 25 miles south of me, man. Dude, I don't know if it's still there, but Capital Lunch hot dogs. Whew. If they would mail those things to me, I mean, it's been like 30-something years. I would buy a gallon of that chili and have it. I'd drown myself in it. It's so good.
We used to eat Frankie's. That's what it was when I lived in Bristol for like 2 years.
Swanky Frank's?
Is where it was at for us.
Was it Swanky Frank's?
Swanky Frank's.
Oh my god. Oh, dude,
There were some good hot dogs, man. The only place I've ever seen give onions and peppers on a hot dog, but it was tasty.
Man, we're gonna have to do a whole show on hot dogs, man. And now you're making me hungry. Dang you people. Forget the show. Never mind. We're not talking about Mandela Effect. Let's talk hot dogs. What do you think?
Well, next time you go there, will they actually be that good, though?
That's right, man. They had an alternate reality. Those hot dogs were horrible in the... Air code 503 saying, yeah, like ND and SD, that's where most of the wheat for America comes from. Potatoes and, believe it or not, sugar. Oh, I did not know we really grew sugar here. Sugar crops, interesting. Michael Mile High Scrub says, how long are you going to be live tonight? We were planning on going until, what was it, 7 and 9, right? Yeah, about 9 o'clock Eastern time, so about another hour. But you know what? There's no deadline. They don't throw us off the air, I don't think. Gosh, do they? No, I don't think they do. Oh, man. 741 saying he's never heard of either place, but I'll have to head down there and check it out. Yeah, Swanky Frank's is an institution in itself, and Capital Lunch, good stuff. Tube steak, yes, indeed.